Hi, this is Jay. Welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd go over all the answers to the questions that I got when I requested for questions a week ago. So this is the big question and answer for the end of 2021. Today I'm just sitting here comfortably. I got this TV here. It's not plugged in or anything, but we'll just use it as a imitation screen where all the questions will pop up. Sitting here in my comfy Z-Packs Ultralight fleece. I guess they don't sell these anymore, but I'm sitting cross-legged. I thought I'd be comfortable while I answer your questions. And these aren't in any order. I try to keep them in order from when they first arrived, but then I mix it all up and it's a hodgepodge. You know, holidays, everyone's busy, right? So let's get started. First question is from Douglas McKinnon. He asked, how have experiences during long distance hiking changed your life off trail? Well, it really hasn't changed much. I think it seems to impact the younger people more, but I was 45 when I started the PCT. I think the biggest impact though for me was the idea that like living in the Chicago suburbs, it was just boring. It just houses and trees everywhere. There are no mountains. And you see these TV shows and movies and YouTube videos and then you go out there, and then when you're actually out in these places that look like unimaginably beautiful, and you realize that you were there, that you could go out there, and there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of places just like that you can actually go yourself. You just need the time to get out there. But if you have the time, you can actually experience these places yourself. It's not all make-believe and Hollywood editing. It's all out there, and it makes you want to see more of it. You just can't get enough of it, and it makes you appreciate it as well. Like I mentioned over and over on PCT, I thought anybody could convince me that I was never at some of those places that I was at, and just it's so amazing that, I mean, it's possible they could, because it's hard to believe that I was out there, but I was, and many people do, and they exist, and you can go out there if you want as well. It's just a matter of having the time to get out there. So people have to make the time to get out there, and it's hard when you're working and you can't get away, but time is probably the most precious thing you can have. Next question. Mountain Cat 8 asks, how do you stay motivated to hike on long distance hikes? In other words, after someone has hiked 1325 miles on the PCT, how does someone maintain the enthusiasm within themselves to hike another 1,325 miles? Unfortunately, I am the worst person to answer this question, because at the end of the PCT, I remember I was getting a ride with 2 or 3 other hikers, and then the driver asked us if we ever thought about quitting. And then everyone was going on, and I was just sitting there real quiet thinking, I never thought about quitting ever. Like even on the worst days, like you look forward to getting somewhere warm, but never did I think about quitting. I just enjoyed the trail so much. I just enjoy being outside and just the experiences. And on the Arizona Trail as well. Never thought about quitting. It just, I don't know. I think I just thoroughly, genuinely love being outdoors and on trail, that quitting was just never an option. And it could also be the stubborn side of me, where I said I was going to do this, and then pretty much nothing was going to stop me. But I really enjoy the trail, and I find it hard. I found other hikers who wanted other hikers to motivate them to stay on trail, but do they really want to be on trail if they need someone to motivate them? Is it something they really, really want? I don't know. It's tough. If they can't find a motivation themselves, it's like, do they really enjoy it? Like, is it something that they really want to do if they need other people to push them further? I think if you really enjoy it, you can just kind of, I don't know, you just look forward to being out there again and continuing on, no matter how crappy things get or boring some people think. But I never found it boring. I don't know, I really enjoy it. So I'm the worst person to answer this question. I don't know how you can stay motivated. I've heard from other people that one of the things is like, look for the little things that make you happy on the trail. Don't just focus on finishing it or getting to the end. Just focus on the little things as you go, day by day, each mile, like each foot even. Just look around you, stop every now and then, and give it some time for the animals to get comfortable with you, and then just have them come around and you hear them and you see them. You just gotta take it easy. Don't focus at the end. Just focus on each mile as you go, and I think you find it's less stressful and just more enjoyable. And it's pretty much how I hike it. Like, you look forward to the end, of course, but you have to look forward to everything each day. Otherwise, that end is just going to seem miserable because you have to suffer through everything. Just enjoy every day. Is that good enough? I don't know. Next question. Kathy Small asks, does Tina have any plans to hike to AT? Merry Christmas to both of you. Well, we haven't announced it officially, but Tina will be hiking to AT next year, but she will start in April sometime. Maybe late March, maybe early April. She's faster than me, and I will be going extra slowly because I would like to do a better job vlogging. And I thought I did a good job on the Arizona Trail, but I'd like to do a little better job. So I'll be starting much earlier because I actually love the cold and hate the heat. And she hates the cold and doesn't mind the heat so much. So I'll start 2 months earlier, and I figure towards the end she'll catch up to me. We'll see. I might finish July, August, who knows? Maybe late June. But yeah, she does plan on through hiking to AT starting in April sometime. She already created her little intro video for Terra Trek, so you'll see that coming up this Sunday. I'll put a link, I guess it's over here, to her channel, and then you can go check out her video later this Sunday. I also submitted an introduction there as well, so you can see that. But yeah, and then we'll see each other. We're going to actually, when she first flies into the States, she's going to meet up with me somewhere on trail, and then we'll spend maybe a week, and then she'll go to the trailhead and start. And then our plan right now is on trail days, we'll head back south to Damascus and then spend a week there. But I think I'm going to be way up north when trail days happen, so I might have to catch a long bus ride. And then Tina will probably still have to backtrack to get to it, but that's our plan, so we can meet other hikers there. I'm especially looking forward to meeting previous year through hikers, especially the ones that have vlogged that I've seen on YouTube. So that's a plan right now, so we'll see how that goes. Dollar Blazing asks, what was your biggest unexpected challenge when doing the Arizona Trail, and how did you overcome that? How do you plan on handling AT unexpected challenges? All right, so the Arizona Trail, the one thing that really got me was when it really started snowing, clouds, the sky was completely overcast, there was no sun, you can't see where the sun was. It was extremely cold, so I always had to wear gloves. So the problem was navigation. The Arizona Trail it's barely marked in some areas, and when there's snow, you can't see the trail at all, unless it's a really worn-in trail and you can kind of see a groove, but it was just flat. And without the sun and without any noticeable trail, I had to use navigation, so I had to use my phone, and with the gloves, it was just extremely painful to take off my gloves, and then figure out where I am. Later on, I knew that if the sun was out, all I knew is I had to go northerly direction. Like, you could pull out the map and see what general direction you have to go. You don't have to stay on trail. So you just go in that compass bearing, basically. And I didn't have a compass, so I just had my phone and my Garmin, and it was just really annoying trying to get the compass up and figure out what direction I was going. I think if I had a real compass, I could have made better time just going in the direction I needed to go. But that got me. I guess I didn't overcome it except going back to town and then waiting a few days until the weather was better and coming back out. And then when I came out, there was still no trail, but the sun was out. So you can get a compass bearing, determine where the sun is based on where you're looking, and just kind of follow that vector, and then you get to where you want to go. But on the AT, I think the snow will also help cover the trails, but the trails are much more worn in, so you'll still be able to see it even with the snow. And plus they have blazes everywhere, so it's a lot easier to follow. A lot of trails, there are no blazes, no signs or anything. The only way you can tell it's a trail is because of the trail and maybe some cut logs here and there, but it's much tougher to follow. So on the AT, I thought about bringing a little compass, but I think I'll be okay navigating in the snow, so that won't be a problem. I am bringing waterproof socks and a lot warmer gear on the AT, so at least for the first month I'll carry it and then see how it goes from there. But yeah, I think I'll be okay on the AT. The thing that on the AZT that hit me the hardest, I think I'll be okay on the AT with, so not too worried. And next up, we have Take and Walk Adventures. They ask, what are you looking forward to seeing most on an Appalachian trail, and are you going to do the half-gallon ice cream challenge? Hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Things I'm looking forward to most on the AT. I don't know exactly. The thing I'm always looking for like more unique things to look forward to. Like sure, McAfee knobs can be cool, but everybody, enjoys that. All the things, a lemon squeezer, that's always fun. I love watching people squeeze through all the rock scrambling. That'll be fun. The things I look forward to most is, well, just the start, just getting through that archway is the big thing. I look forward to maybe meeting some other previous year's thru hikers that live near the trail. Maybe I'll bump into them. Like last year's hiker Andrew Live Life, he's opening a hostel in Pennsylvania, so I'm looking forward to visiting him when I get to that area. Maybe help him out with some tours. And Katahdin itself, I look forward to that. I look forward to the Razor Trail, whatever, that's off Katahdin, that doesn't go back the way you came. I want to take that other path because it looks cool and it's different. So I'm going to do that. I'm looking forward to that. I look forward to a lot of different things. In fact, one of the things I look forward to is tons of snow, because if I'm bringing all this cold weather gear and gear to stay dry, I want there to be snow so I can see how beautiful it is and see the branches just covered in snow. I think it's gonna be great. And my backpack will be blue, so I'm hoping it'll kind of show out amongst all the snow. I don't know, we'll see. But nothing in particular, but I don't know. I just look forward to hearing the quiet. That's all the other thing about hiking in the winter in the snow. It's so quiet. Look forward to that again. I forgot to answer one question. Are you going to do the ice cream challenge? And the answer is yes, if I have a motel room or someplace with the bathroom nearby. I am lactose intolerant, so that'll be a problem, but I'm gonna try my best because I love ice cream and the calories it'll have, but definitely trying it. All right, next question. J3 Hikes asks, any new gear changes for the AT? Well, I'm still in Germany now, and I just talked to my sister, and I guess she has a huge stack of boxes for me. I have several big gear changes. My quilt's staying the same. I'm bringing most of the same stuff, different backpack, different tent, same sleeping pads, everything. Lots of different electronics gear. That's a big thing. So expect those videos coming in rapid succession come January when I get home. So I'll make one gear video that just goes over everything I'm carrying and weights of everything. And then I won't explain too much about them, but I'll make separate videos going into more detail about everything and describing why I chose those items and why I think that'll work for me. So it'll be like electronics. This will include all my vlogging gear. It'll be clothes, big three, and then all the other miscellaneous items that'll be there with me. Hugo Matato asks, any future fishing videos planned? unfortunately, in the short term, there's not going to be any fishing. I'm not going to fish on the AT at all. My goals for fishing have been, I've always wanted to spend many months in one state, like Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Wyoming, maybe New Mexico. Just spend like 3 months there and just really do a good, thorough job exploring the area. And then also get a fishing license, and then I can have a non-resident fishing license for that state and take advantage of it. Otherwise, they cost so much that if you go state to state really quickly, it's just not worth it. It's tough for me to just throw out like $120 for a license that I don't use that often. So at some point, I'll be doing that. I like to also go to Alaska at some point and then spend many months there, and I'll get a fishing license there and go at it there. But we'll see how that goes. But nothing planned until at least September. So maybe not even until next year. There's probably not going to be fishing, but sorry. Hopefully next year though, or 2 years, 2023. Yeah. OJO asks, happy holidays. Will you be making full gear list video? And yes, like I said before, there'll be a full gear video really quickly, and I'll make separate videos going through all the items more thoroughly and explaining them in more detail. So coming soon. I do have to buy a couple more things, mostly new hiking pants that are a little warmer and mittens. I'll be wearing mittens because my fingers froze on the Arizona Trail and that was no fun. So those two things. Big Apple Backpacking asked, he thoroughly enjoyed the Arizona Trail videos. Thanks, I'm glad you enjoyed them. And trail was beautiful. Would you still start the Arizona Trail on February 17th, or would you start a little later, maybe a month or two later, to avoid some of the snow and cold temperatures? I think I would start the exact same day, maybe even a few days earlier. I thought one of the things I enjoyed most about the Arizona Trail was the peace and quiet, and there was nobody around. And the cold didn't bother me that much. I think if I had a slightly thicker gloves and if I had waterproof socks in the beginning for some of the parts, it'd have been okay. It'd have been just fine. Some parts, like a couple of friends of mine started Arizona Trail a month after me, and when they got to the North Rim, they weren't super fast either. Like, so basically 3 weeks after I was there, the North Rim got tons of snow, so they had to do the road walk as well. So it's pretty random what you get. I mean, if you're lucky enough and you go early enough, there's snow, but it's frozen and you could just walk over it, and that's for me ideal. But I would have started at the same time, slightly earlier. There were a few sections that were super hot, and I don't like the heat that much. I perform better when it's cooler, so I'd start the same time. I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know when the skunks, I guess they're active year round. That was my biggest fear, by the way, on Arizona Trail was rabid skunks. So if the skunks weren't around, I would cowboy camp more. Maybe set up my footprint over the top. I don't know. But yeah, same date. Brad Orndorff asks, will you please, when feasible, take videos of shelters, springs, hostels, historic landmarks, and things of special note? When you get to Bluff Mountain in Virginia, near the old tower ruins, is a memorial to Audie Klein Powell. It bears viewing. Well, it's hard to film things specifically. I just kind of film things that interest me as I go. The shelters are interesting, especially some of them, because I love woodworking and architecture and engineering. So I'll definitely look at those. I may probably just like gawk at things that most people wouldn't find interesting at all, but I'll definitely show those. Springs and hostels. Springs are, I mean, I'll show it to you as I collect water just so you can see what the conditions are like. And the hostels, I generally don't film as much in hostels because there's so many people, and I don't like to film people unless they're okay with it, and it's hard to be like, hey, is it okay to film? Hey, is it okay to film when there's 20 people? So, and I still feel a little awkward if there's so many people just filming. So I'll try my best to show things, but no guarantees. We'll see. Kim Thomas asks, what is your one or few hiking items that that are an absolute must that you can't do without. Well, things I can't do without, my trekking poles. Those are with me all the time. Back in my marathon running days, I kind of overdid it and I hurt my left hip. So when I extend my hip too much, like especially going uphill because legs go like this, it hurts. So I have to use my trekking poles to offset that. So I really push down on my trekking poles hard, especially when I go up. So my trekking poles are with me all the time, everywhere I go, and I go through tips like crazy. Other than that, other things that I've had on every hike are like my camp pot was on every hike, my Tox Titanium 750 milliliter. But really, other than that, everything else, I mean, my quilt has been through every backpacking trip, since the very beginning, ever since I bought it. But there's no real big go-to except those trekking poles with the straps, because I really know those trekking poles. The straps I need because my wrists are not 100% because I hurt them in the Marine Corps, and they're still sore. They get sore really easily, so I can't just press on the handle. I have to use the straps and get it on my wrist and push down on the straps instead of using the hand. So trekking pole with straps, absolute must for me. Now, TP Seeker asks, what is the clip on the pack that you use to hold your camera? Can you go over the process of how you do your filming, storing, and transferring data? It's a lot of stuff. Chargers, and how you would protect all of your electronics from elements. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Well, the cell phone is waterproof, so I don't have to protect it too much. I'll have a GoPro, I think, on this hike, and that's waterproof, so not much protection needed. I'll have a mirrorless camera clipped on my shoulder, and when it's raining or anything, I like to put a Dyneema bag over the whole thing and cinch it towards the clip, so most of the water will drain away, so that'll be safe enough. If it's raining, I'll use an umbrella. I'm not gonna just let the water drip because it will pool in. And really, the clip I currently use is a Peak Designs. A lot of people are using them, and I use them on the Arizona Trail. They worked out okay. There's a couple of screws that holds it in. They kind of come undone. So every couple of days you got to tighten them back up, otherwise they just get looser and looser, and then they start squeaking all the time. But I found that the Peak Designs clip that attaches to the camera, it doesn't follow true like Arca Swiss plate dimensions. So the sides are too fat. They're not sharpened enough. So it doesn't work on some mounts. And on this trip, I bought something else. I think it's about an ounce heavier, but it's the PGY Tech. I'll have the tripod that has the snap lock on it, but it basically works the same way, slides right in. But that plate will work with any of the other Arca Swiss quick detach systems because their plate is true to spec. So it works much better. So I'm looking forward to bringing that along, and I'll show you all that later in my electronics video, but that's what I'll be using, the PGY Tech shoulder clip. Hopefully that works out just as well. Because of the tripod I'll be carrying in the head that I'll have on it, the Peak Designs camera clip part won't fit. It'll fit on there, but it'll just pop right off. It doesn't meet the standard. So I'm gonna go with the PGY Tech and see how it goes. As far as the rest of the electronics and chargings, I'll go over that in my electronics video because there's quite a lot, and I can go on and on about chargers because a lot of people just throw out brands and keywords like power delivery, quick charge, but there's all this math involved. It's just numbers, but I don't know. If you do the numbers, you can optimize the gear you carry so you don't carry a super high wattage charger when you can't utilize it, and that's extra weight for nothing. So I'll go over all that in the electronics video. Next question, Eric Klein asks, how do you train for your upcoming hike in Germany? Well, Germany has hills and stuff, but where we are staying, we're in the very northwestern corner called Emden. It's mostly very, very flat, and we're right at sea level. So I'm not doing much training at all. We take walks most days, so that's about it really. Both of us have thru hiked before, and we kind of know what we need to do. So we're working on it. I still have a month when I get it home, so I'm working on it some more. I mostly want to concentrate on building like foot muscle and ankle strength more so than my legs right now. Last year, I also stayed in Emden before I started the Arizona Trail. And on that trail, there was over 5,000 feet of gain on the first day. And I was okay. So I'm looking forward to it again. The other way we're getting ready for the Appalachian Trail is we're watching Northwood's Law. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's about the fish and game wardens in New Hampshire and Maine. So we've been watching them and trying to remember their names. That way, if we ever see one of them, we can be like, hey, we're from Northwood's Law, and then get a selfie with them. That's the gist of it. But a lot of things, or a lot of the episodes, they have hiker rescues, and oftentimes they're on the Appalachian Trail or near there. So it's always funny when they're like, oh, we need someone to go off this way. There's a hiker with a badly sprained ankle, and it's right on the AT. So yeah, we're hoping to bump into them. I think it'd be great if I could help them carry someone down off a mountain. I think that would be the most interesting trip I can have. But yeah, that's the gist of our training right now. So not much, but I do know what I need to do. And when I get home, I'll get on it. Here, I've been doing some squats, not very regularly, but like lunges. Those are the big thing that help out. So yeah, that's about it. Larch asks, what is your favorite go-to meal on trail? I've eaten a ton of ramen bombs, and I've kind of grown away from it. On the Arizona Trail, I preferred like a ramen and then some other carb addition, because with the mashed potatoes, it seemed like it was too much. Like it turns thick. No matter how much water you add, it turns really thick, and you just have to shove it in your mouth. But I like to carry a bunch of couscous or instant white rice. I just carry a big old bag of it. Couscous is better because it's more dense, so you get less volume. About the same weight probably per calorie, but it's a lot less volume. But I'll just make like a ramen or a nor pasta side, usually a rice side. I do freezer bag cooking, and the pasta parts don't seem to work well, but the nor rice sides work well. And then I just put in a whole bunch of instant white rice or couscous, and then it all hydrates together. But that's been my go-to meal. I found mixing ramen with instant potatoes, sometimes it's a little salty as well, so you have to use less of the seasoning, but I like it with, I like a little more variety than just to mash potatoes all the time now. So it's going to be ramen, pasta sides, or rice sides, nor rice sides, or anything like that, and always instant white rice or couscous. I prefer couscous, but they're extremely difficult to find sometimes, and especially if they come in big packages. So I'll buy instant white rice. Usually a big box is good. I just put the whole thing in a Ziploc bag and I eat the whole thing in a week. You can put it in anything and it just absorbs. You can even cold soak in it with a little, some kind of seasoning. I used to use gravy mix seasoning, like meatloaf mix seasoning, just kind of anything salty with a little flavor. But yeah, instant white rice, believe it or not. And oddly enough, you find those everywhere. Everywhere I've been, I always can find instant white rice. Couscous, rare. So those are my resupplies, but instant white rice is okay. My other rule, though, is Fritos. I love Fritos. Like, can you imagine? All it is, it's corn, corn oil, and salt. That's all that's in there, but it tastes so delicious. So on the Arizona Trail, I developed a rule, and I'm going to follow this on the AT completely, is anytime you put down your pack, and you have to put, before you put it back on, I have to take out the bag of Fritos and just pour a mouthful of it, and then put it back in the pack, and then I can put it on. So before I put my pack on, every time, mouthful of Fritos. So that'll be my rule on the AT. Randy Smith asks quite a lot. Yeah. Are you going to sleep with your breakfast cold soak? I will not be cold soaking this year. I'm just gonna try to get going in the mornings and eat a bar. So no more oatmeal until it gets warmer. So just too cold in the mornings. And I don't want any more slushy oatmeals because that's no fun. And is your, I think you meant NU25 going to be enough headlamp power? Yes. I'm not going to do that much night hiking. I don't see as much at night, so there's not as much to film and not as much to enjoy. So I prefer hiking during the day. I'd love to start right before, well, I guess right before dawn, but 30 minutes before sunrise, I think it's the best because it's just so beautiful. And then during the day and after sunset, I just want to go to bed. So I don't use my headlamp too much. I don't fiddle around in my tent too much. So I think the NU25 will be just fine. Next question is, not sure what tent you will use. I'll release that information in my gear item coming up. And let's see. Are you going to take foam mat to protect your inflatable mattress? No, no foam mat. I will have a sit pad, but it's not specifically to protect the mattress. It's just so I could sit. It's not comfortable when you lose a bunch of weight and you just kind of lose the padding on your butt. So when you sit on rocks at all, it really hurts. So it's nice to have some padding there in your tent until you get your sleeping pad blown up, and then that's up. But everything will start hurting on your butt more because it's just gonna be bones and muscle there. So that's what to expect. And a few things. Let's see. Picked up an Instant 360 X2. Yeah, so I have an Insta 360 as well, and it's a great camera for its purposes. I saw that one of the AT vloggers he's trying to use one right now. I just have found that it takes up too much data because it uses H264 for the codec, and it records in 5.3K. The files are just gigantic, and the amount of processing time on your phone it's just too much time. And while it's processing, you have to keep the app open. So it's just not feasible for me to vlog with on the AT. And you just have to take too good a care of it because the lenses are so easy to scratch. Because it's a 360 camera, so the lenses are on both sides. So if you drop it, there's like a 95% chance you're going to hit a lens with it. So I'm sticking with the usual ways for now, but it's a fun camera for unique things. Like when I went over Forester Pass, I used it, and I thought the 360 footage of that was really nice. Anything where views in the 360 are really interesting, you could use it for that whole stretch, and I think it's a really unique way to see the world just through YouTube, especially if you have the VR goggles, like the cardboard from YouTube. But let's go to the next question. One Stick Price asks, is there anything you want to improve in regard to video graphics or dialogue? Any particular area of focus for this vlog? Well, I definitely want to record a lot more. I'm going to record in 4K and record everything in 4K. All the YouTube videos will be 1080p though, because the rendering time, it just takes so much longer. 4 times the size, 4 times longer. So I'll just render in 1080p. But because it's 4K, you can actually, when you edit, you could zoom in about 50% and then you can move around. So it'll be more dynamic for even like tripod shots. And I'll have all new gear. I'll have a new main camera as well, the mirrorless. I have a Sony a7 Mark IV, and it's gonna be a little heavier camera, but I think the quality of the pictures and the video is just gonna be so nice that I'm really looking forward to it. And I've been focusing more on videography the last several months. I've been doing it for the last year or two, but it helps when you're working with stock videos as well. You kind of think about it more. And then with the vlogging, I like to do more. And I kind of want to take my time as well. I know if I'm rushed, I'll just do like the typical vlog shots where you hold the camera and walk and whatnot. But I really want to do more things that I'll be more satisfied doing. Like, I know I can do better, so I'd like to do better. I don't know if it makes sense. But yeah, it's going to be a bunch of new gear. So hopefully that all adds up and works out well. Vivian Frericks asks, I enjoyed all your AZT videos. Well done. Thank you, Vivian. My question, you seem to eat inside your tent a lot. Doesn't that attract mice, or have you not had any rodent problem on your hikes? you have any special food storage suggestions? Biggest thing is try to avoid places where there will be a lot of mice, especially if it's like a super worn in campsite. That means a lot of people have been there before, and you can bet most people are going to dribble food all over as they eat, and they often eat like right outside the tent. But that's a big thing on the PCT. I was worried about it. A lot of places had mice chew through tents. On Wonderland Trail also, there are a lot of places with tons of mice. But I'm super careful when I eat in my tent. Like nothing dribbles. I'm extremely anal about it. I try not to drop any crumbs or anything. I try to carry things that aren't crumbly, so there's none of that everywhere. And on the Arizona Trail, I wasn't really afraid of bears at all. There were probably only a few places there were bears. And I would put all my food in my food bag, and I usually drape like my socks over it. So hoping that that would kind of mix with the other smell. And I never kept the food bags against the wall of the tent. I think that's a main reason a lot of mice will chew through. I always keep the food bag right next to me and at least a few inches away from the walls of the tent. I think that's really important. If you have other things, you can just kind of push them along the side so it doesn't get there. But that's a big thing. Try to do the best you can, but keeping everything clean and then keeping it away from the walls, I think helps the most. But don't take my word on it. You could do all that and mice may still chew through your tent. It's all personal risk, but it worked out okay for me so far. On the AT, I will be using a Ursac Almighty, so that'd be a whole different situation right there. So next question. As I am asked, what's your favorite ultralight tripod for a cell phone? I don't know exactly. I have never just had a cell phone with me when I hiked. I always have something else with me. Like I've had the Sony RX10, I've had the mirrorless cameras, or a Osmo Pocket with me. And if I ever just have a camera, sadly my tripod will be a combination of other things. Like I'll have a phone holder that connects to my tripod somehow. And I generally like a full tripod because I find a lot of times I sit up on hills. A lot of the trails are slanted one way or the other. So it's nice having a tripod where you can adjust the legs so it maintains its balance and is less likely to just flip over. So I think the ultra pods are all very nice if you have a small cell phone. If it's not windy, big risk is if it's windy, it's gonna easily knock that over. But I like the bigger ultra pod too, like the Grip or the new one that's out. Those are nice, but with those two, you also need a cell phone holder. But right now, my most favorite cell phone holder is also from PGY Tech. It's a super tiny little clip. I'll show you on the TV here, but it folds up, super compact, light, and the bottom is actually Arca Swiss compatible, so you can just pop it into a Arca Swiss plate, and it's there. On the Arizona Trail, I actually carried a cell phone holder with an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom, and it was bulky, and it kept like unscrewing, and it was super annoying. But with this clip, it's just the one clip I need, and it's light, small, works well, and that's definitely what I'm carrying on the trail with me. This Arca Swiss plate also has a 1/4-inch threading on the bottom, so you can screw it right onto one of the Ultra Pods. The Ultra Pods are really light, so you can easily just screw it on and just use that for cell phones right away. So that works out really well. It really depends on what you want to do with your cell phone. Like, unfortunately, the super ultralight tripods are all very short, so you're going to be on the ground, or you need trees with branches thin enough that you can wrap the cord around. Whereas on the PCT, I used a tripod with expandable legs. So I think I got it up to 3.5 feet. And the tripod I'll be bringing probably on the AT is also maybe about 2.5 feet tall. It's not super tall, but helps you get out of the grass in some parts if you're trying to film. The Hiking Cucumber asks, what's the most spooky paranormal thing you have experienced on trail or heard another hiker tell a spooky story on trail? Unfortunately, I don't have an answer to that. I haven't heard any like super spooky tales, or I don't remember any. And oftentimes when I'm on trail, I just fall asleep and I'm out. So I don't hear noises. If I hear noises, I just assume it's squirrels or deer and I fall back to sleep. Uh, it hasn't really been too bad. I guess it wasn't spooky, but one time I was camped out near a trailhead in Arizona trail and a bunch of teenagers showed up or something. And then I thought they were just gonna hang out or be trouble, and I stayed awake. But then I heard one of them say, "Oh, there's a homeless guy over there," and then they all packed up and took off. And I think they were talking about me, so I was the spooky thing at that point, maybe. Um, I don't know how you can get away with no name, but no name gear breakdown vid for the AT next year. Future goals after AT hike. Yeah, gear videos will be coming. I just don't have any of it here with me. So, in fact, besides my cell phone, I don't think I'm going to be carrying much of that here with me on the AT. So they're coming. Future goals after the AT. I still really want to go live in Alaska for a good 6 months. So maybe next year, we'll see. We, like Tina and I, have to coordinate somewhat like what we want to do. But she also wants to go to Alaska too, because I think it's just going to be a great time exploring up there. There's so many beautiful places, tons of national parks up there. Yeah, so that's one thing I'm really looking forward to, is exploring Alaska. Especially like, my car's ready for it. So some year, some year. One thing we need to do before Alaska though is we kind of want to buy a used camper trailer, because mosquitoes are so bad. I would like somewhere where we can both sit and be comfortable. If it's raining or we need to cook or something, we just like to be inside away from all the bugs. Hiking with Whiskers asks, Jay seemed pretty laid back in all your preparations. I'm sure experience contributes to that. What are some of the things you would recommend for first-time thru hikers to do to prepare for the mental challenges of a thru hike? I think it is the same to an earlier question, like how do you stay motivated? Don't keep thinking about the goal, like don't think about Katahdin itself. Just tell yourself to enjoy your day. Just whatever comes up on the first day or each day, just enjoy it. Look around you, just take your time and try to find pleasure in things. And if you do that each day, I think you'll just find a more pleasant hike and you won't need more to keep you going. Because if you just keep thinking about the ultimate goal and you're just struggling through each day, just complaining all the time, it's not going to be fun. You might do what a lot of people are doing these days, are just skipping around. But I think just like enjoy the days, just look around. Don't walk by everything. Just like look at all the flowers, especially springtime. Smell the flowers. Just really enjoy everything and appreciate everything as well, and it'll get you through. For the mental challenges, just laugh it off. Just know that anytime conditions are really hard for you, you should know that there are other people experiencing it at the same time or have, and you can always laugh about it later. And that's the beauty of challenges. Like if you actually undertake these challenges, you know that there are other people that have gone through the same thing, and it's fun to joke with them later. It's a lot of fun. If you focus on the fact that you're miserable while you're miserable, you're gonna, I think, accelerate that misery, just make it much worse. But if you just kind of laugh it off, it's actually pretty fun later. So that misery is only temporary, unless you break a leg or something. And even that's temporary. So just everything's temporary. Just shake it off and then keep going and laugh about it later. And that's all the questions I had so far on this Q&A. It's quite a bit, so hopefully I can show everything on this TV well. But yeah, I'm in Germany now, and just a couple more days I'm actually flying back home, and I'll start ripping into my boxes of gear, and then I got to play around with a lot of things before I absolutely finalize. Of course, there's the usual things. I got to get home. I have to take a test and everything a few days after I get home, so it'll be very, very busy. But I am getting my car right away. I'm gonna go do some hikes on the Ice Age Trail. I'm hoping it's gonna be super cold, so I'm hoping I can walk out on the ice up there again. But other than that, Happy New Year to everyone. It should be in a day or so after this video comes out. So y'all take care, and thanks for watching this video, and thanks for asking the questions, and hopefully my answers were good enough, although some of my answers, like the paranormal thing, I didn't really have an answer for. But you all enjoy 2022, and I will talk to y'all later.